Imagine being so important that the modern world would fall apart without you. Now imagine having some of the worst rapport ever because of how much energy you need to keep the world running. If mining was a person, that's how it would feel. See, the world needs about 90 billion tons of mined material every year, and by 2030, we'll need at least 100 new mines to get more lithium and copper. This means that mining isn't going to go anywhere, it's going to grow, and we have to make it more sustainable. But where do we begin with that? We should look at the numbers first. In 2018, over 10% of Australia's total energy consumption went straight to mining, and 60% of that energy went into machines. And studies show that half or more than half of this energy could have been saved with the right technology. Uh, if you think about it, majority of energy that goes into mining is going into machines. So if the machines become more efficient, so does mining itself. And that is where our solution comes in. We proposed an app called MineCare, which would make mining machinery specifically more efficient. Uh, it would monitor consumption of electricity in real time through sensors and IoT, and it would be synced with the database at the back end that has technical information like machine specs and best practices that get updated in real time. And using AI, it bridges the two, so real time application and back-end processes, and it bridges the gap, and it makes recommendations in real time for how to make how to make machines more efficient as they're being used. And managers could then use this dashboard-like interface and choose which of the app suggestions they would act on. Now, the app would also have a reward system, which would give points for however much consumption you were able to reduce. It would be proportionate. And these rewards could then be used for discounts from suppliers or the government. It could maybe give incentives in that way. Now, a question would be, don't other apps exist that do that? There are a few. There are really good options, and some of them are listed here. But if you see something that they all have in common is that they're usually used for strategic planning, whereas the app we're supposing is more to do with day-to-day operations, and it's going to be used by managers rather than leadership. Also, another USP that we believe in is the reward system, because we believe that right now energy consumption is business as usual, bills have to be paid. But we think that if we incentivize saving that energy in a monetary sense, that could really make a difference. Now, let's talk about the technical feasibility of an app like this. Usually, monitoring and optimization is done with Tableau and Power BI. So that shows that an app like this can be made. Usually, it takes 6 months to a year to develop an app like this, and we understand that our operations would also have a carbon footprint, so we'd want to ideally make everything solar powered, and we'd have cloud computing to minimize physical footprint and remote work to minimize transport emissions that would be otherwise incurred. And lastly, this is a financial snapshot. These are the costs that would roughly be incurred by an app like this. We understand that startups for apps, especially, take about 2 years to break even, but our app really is a long-term project, and with machine learning, it's only going to get better with time. So best results would come up after some years. And so we imagine that after 2 years, it would be more than paying for itself, and it would definitely increase incentive for mining companies to save energy rather than just try and take more strategic approach. This could be a more day-to-day hands-on thing that mining companies could implement.